Welcome, welcome to the webinar. We'll get started in about a minute. It's almost time. You still have time to get your guests on the line, get them plugged in. We're going to be talking about glaucoma today. Get your water because, oh my goodness, I'm on day 1 of the bitter challenge and oh my goodness. That's all I'm going to say to you guys is, oh my goodness. It is very, very effective. The bitters are very, very effective. If you haven't tried the bitters, you want to do that. In fact, I think tomorrow is buy 3, get 1 free. So it'll be a great time for you to start those bitters. Yay, you're on day 3? Yes, double up. Wonderful. So we're going to get started. It is 8 o'clock and I'm going to share my screen for everyone. Tonight, we're going to be talking about glaucoma. I'm Dr. Rita McGuire, the Chief Medical Officer here at Wakana, and one of the co-founders. And we're going to talk about glaucoma, and then we're going to talk about using CBD for those who have glaucoma. And I think many of you may know someone with glaucoma because it's affecting a lot of Americans. But this slide I put here is to remind me is that most people who have glaucoma have other comorbidities, meaning they have hypertension, diabetes, they have other health issues. So many of your family or friends or folks that you may be prospecting, maybe you guessed on the line, may have other concerns that you want to address with CBD as well. So, according to the Glaucoma Research Foundation, it's estimated that 3 million Americans suffer from glaucoma. I told you, it's a lot of folks that are affected with glaucoma. In fact, it's one of 5 leading causes of blindness. You know, you've got cataracts and, prematurity and diabetic neuropathy, but glaucoma is in one of the top 5 causes of blindness in the United States. 10% of people with glaucoma experience loss of vision, even with proper treatment. So we're going to talk about how important it is to prevent glaucoma and to do things that will help catch glaucoma early. Again, in the United States alone, glaucoma accounts for up to 12% of all cases of blindness. It's very, very prevalent in African Americans. In fact, glaucoma is 8 times more likely for African Americans to become blind from glaucoma than Caucasians. So this is a really serious topic. Can you imagine, having sight and not doing the proper preventative things that you should be doing to prevent a very serious condition? In fact, there was a survey, and I know the survey is old, but in 2002, Prevent Blindness did a survey, and what they found was that 30% of people have never heard of glaucoma. And 50% of those surveyed had heard of glaucoma, but didn't know really what it was or what it is. So that's why it's imperative that we talk about what it is. So let's talk about the optic nerve, because see, the optic nerve is the nerve that is damaged and causes glaucoma. And so this nerve originates from the cerebrum. The cerebrum is the front part of the brain that controls and initiates movement, sight, vision, balance. So this nerve is really important. And this nerve, we don't want it to be damaged. Otherwise, we could, of course, lose our vision and become blind. It's also responsible for carrying images to the brain. It contains more than 1 million nerve fibers. It makes up part of the retina that gives us sight. And when the nerve fiber layers are damaged, They're damaged because there's a lot of pressure. We call it intraocular pressure. When that pressure becomes too high, this nerve is damaged, and then our sight and our vision is impaired. So over time, if we leave this pressure on this optic nerve prolonged and without treatment, it can cause blindness and irreversible vision loss. So let's talk about what intraocular pressure is. Well, intraocular pressure occurs when the fluid behind the eye, the aqueous fluid, is not able to drain. So there's normal drainage of this fluid, but when that duct or that drainage is slow, the pressure builds up, as you see here, and causes pressure on this optic nerve. So the intraocular pressure is something that we want to keep normal and reduce, and we want this nerve to be free from damage. This nerve can be damaged from diabetes. It can be damaged by an eye injury. It can be damaged because of high blood pressure not being controlled. And it can be damaged by this intraocular pressure becoming very high. So glaucoma, again, is a condition that causes damage to your eye's optic nerve. And we're going to talk about how important it is when we say that CBD is neuroprotective. We say it almost every week, neuroprotective. It protects nerves that have been damaged. So there you go right there. CBD is going to protect this nerve. It's going to reduce the inflammation. Glaucoma can be inherited and may not show up until later in life. The primary glaucoma cases are largely unknown. They don't know why those folks get glaucoma. But secondary glaucoma can be from known causes, again, like diabetes, hypertension, inflammation, cataracts, and even tumors that are on that optic nerve. So this pressure is increased when that drainage canal is blocked, and this can cause permanent vision loss. I can't stress that enough. So that's why it's so important to get those yearly eye exams, because many people who have glaucoma have no symptoms. In fact, it's called the silent thief of sight, because many people have no symptoms. They have no pain, they have nothing. So some of the risk factors for glaucoma, maybe you can jump on this early if you know that someone in your family had glaucoma, like your mom or your dad. Risk factors also include having a high intraocular pressure, being of certain ethnicity, like African descent, Hispanic, or Asian heritage. Anyone over the age of 60 years or more at risk. Again, we talked about the family history, and then those comorbidities. Having systemic diseases puts you at risk. If you have diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, if you have migraines, if you have poor circulation and heart problems, puts you at risk. Steroid medication use, being farsighted or nearsighted, these are all risk factors for glaucoma. Well, how do we diagnose glaucoma? Well, we diagnose glaucoma by doing an eye exam. In fact, the American Academy of Ophthalmology recommends that everyone gets a baseline eye exam by the age of 40. Most people get eye exams way sooner than that. But these eye exams are done by an optometrist that measures, one, the pressure in your eyes, tonometry, or gonioscopy, which is they measure the eye drainage angle, and perimetry, which measures the scope of the central and peripheral vision. So when you go and get that eye exam, they may flicker those lights, right, and say, what do you see on the right side? What do you see on the left side? And so all of these different sorts of eye exams will diagnose glaucoma. Well, what is the treatment for glaucoma? This is really sad, because really the medication and surgery are really the only option. But again, when you start losing your vision, it's irreversible. So you can see the different stages and severity of glaucoma. In early stage, we offer you medication, typically eye drops or laser surgery. In moderate or advanced, again, we're offering either medication, laser, or something called cryotherapy. And then, of course, in the end stage where this person has gone blind, they have a lot of pain, not much we can offer, medication, maybe cryotherapy, and rehabilitation services. So just keep in mind that glaucoma is the leading cause of preventable blindness. We can prevent you from going blind. We can detect early. How do we detect early? Well, you've got to get in there and get those eye exams done, getting regular checkups, making sure that if you have comorbidities, making sure your blood pressure is under control. If you're diabetic, making sure your blood sugar is under control. Making sure if you have a profession where there can be an increased risk of trauma to your eyes, making sure you have protected eyewear on, because right now there's no cure available and vision loss is irreversible in glaucoma. But let's talk about cannabis. Why? Because there are many studies that show that cannabis can be a viable and highly effective treatment option for glaucoma. When we talk about cannabis, it's important that you know that there are two species. One species is marijuana. That's a species that gets you high. And then there's hemp. That is the species that doesn't get you high. In fact, it has trace amounts of the compound THC in it. And that is the reason why the hemp species doesn't get you high. Also, this plant to date makes over 113 compounds. They're called cannabinoids. And the two most common are THC and CBD. Tonight, of course, we're going to be talking about CBD, and we're specifically going to talk about the CBD that's sourced from the hemp species. Because when we discuss the data and look at cannabis being an option for years in helping to improve those who have glaucoma by reducing the intraocular pressure, by reducing the inflammation. The only problem was that back in the 70s and the 60s, people were high all the time. Yeah, they were getting better readings from their glaucoma levels, but they were high all the time, and that's not really feasible for folks. So the CBD that's sourced from hemp now is an opportunity for those who want to use an alternative, and a natural organic alternative to address their glaucoma, can do it without getting high. So the 2018 Farm Bill legalizes CBD in all 50 states that source from hemp. In fact, this Farm Bill allows hemp to be sold, cultivated, and consumed in all 50 states. So when we look at the cannabinoids, all of these compounds, right, we're gonna talk about the main ones, not 113. We'll be here all night. But when we look at CBD, cannabidiol, what I want to focus on tonight are the benefits that CBD has for those who have glaucoma. And the benefits are stated here that CBD is neuroprotective. So CBD can come in any nerve, but we're talking about the optic nerve tonight, and it can reduce the inflammation around the optic nerve. In fact, CBD is an anti-inflammatory. So it's going to go in and reduce the inflammation around that optic nerve. It's also an analgesic. So it's going to help for any of those patients, people, family, maybe you, that may have discomfort from glaucoma. Maybe you're having that pressure that's causing pain. So it's going to be an analgesic. It's going to help reduce pain. It also helps to relieve anxiety, because once you get that diagnosis of glaucoma, you may now understand that, hey, if I don't get a handle on this, I could go blind. I could lose my sight. I could lose my vision. So it helps to relieve anxiety as well. And then CBD is a vasorelaxant. And that's really key when we're speaking about the ability for those vessels in those who have glaucoma, but may be diabetic, may be hypertensive, and that's the reason why they have glaucomas, because they have diabetes and hypertension. It allows those blood vessels not to be constricted, but to help those blood vessels and improve blood flow. So there are other cannabinoids like CBG and CBC and delta-9 THC and delta-8 THC. And all of these cannabinoids together, the synergy or the entourage effect of all of these cannabinoids together truly have helped so many with those challenges with glaucoma to be relieved. Now, the way that it works, and this is really quite phenomenal, because when you talk about CBD, a lot of people think it's a snake oil. They think it's a magic potion, you know, because it does so much. And it does so much via a science. This science was discovered when I was in medical school in the early 1990s. And the science is called the endocannabinoid system. And this system plays a major, like a vital role in our physiologic processes, from appetite regulation to cardiovascular function, to inflammation, to pain, to memory, to movement, to sleep-wake cycles. This system is deemed the most vital regulatory system in our body that puts us back in balance, that gives us homeostasis. And it does that through receptors. See, there are receptors throughout our entire body. So if you see on the left, that diagram, there are receptors throughout our entire body that's looking for cannabis-based compounds, that are looking for CBD to put it back in balance. And specifically, CB1 is what we want to concentrate on tonight. Why? Because remember, I said the optic nerve originates in the brain, the cerebrum of the brain. And guess what? There are receptors in the brain. Now, CB1 receptors are primarily located in the brain, in the central nervous system. So this is why it makes sense with the science in how CBD helps those, will assist those who have those symptoms from glaucoma. So these studies, again, in the 70s, studies have shown that cannabinoids can alleviate the intraocular pressure. They can also help to reduce the inflammation. Why? Because CBD is neuroprotective. This study shows that 25 to 30% of those in the studies had a lower intraocular pressure. In fact, their intraocular pressure is lowered by 25 to 30%. They were able to follow these patients. They were ingesting cannabinoids or cannabis-based products every 3 to 4 hours. And it also showed that it was a viable option for those looking for a holistic way of addressing their glaucoma. There are other studies that show that, again, CBD reduces the intraocular pressure. It does it through CB1 receptors, and it helps to improve those who have glaucoma. This slide shows how CBD is a vasorelaxant. And the properties of CBD could increase ocular blood flow that is needed to that damaged nerve. It's also anti-inflammatory. It's also neuroprotective. So all of these studies, again, show that CBD is very effective in different ways in improving those who have glaucoma. What is important is that too much CBD, when you're dealing with those who have glaucoma, can cause the pressure to increase. So you don't want to consume more than 40 milligrams a day. You want to be around 10 to 20 milligrams of CBD a day if you have glaucoma. Over 40 can increase the intraocular pressure. Right now, they're doing a lot of studies on CBD eye drops. Yep, CBD eye drops. But right now, most people get a lot of results by either vaping CBD or using a tincture under the tongue. So CB1 receptors in the eye. This is how CBD improves glaucoma. It reduces the intraocular pressure. It's neuroprotective. It also works just like a lot of the medications that we prescribe for glaucoma. It is miotic, which means it increases the dilation so that the drainage can improve, that it's not a slow drainage. It doesn't build up. Again, it's also analgesic for those who have stabbing pain. It's a pain reliever, especially those who have closed angle glaucoma. And CBD is anti-inflammatory, right? So it is reducing the inflammation in the trabecular meshwork of the nerve fibers of the optic nerve. So this is how CBD works. So let's talk about our product line, and specifically I'm going to recommend some products that can assist with the symptoms that are caused by glaucoma. This disclaimer just states that if you're 18 or under, that these products are not for use or sale. And yes, there are babies that have glaucoma, something called congenital glaucoma. So yes, we can see glaucoma even in young people. Our vape cartridges should not be used or sold to persons under the age of 21. These statements have not been approved by the FDA. So if you are on medication, if you're under a doctor's care, if you are under an ophthalmologist or optometrist care, let them know that you are going to use CBD and you want to use CBD and you want to loop them into the conversation. Our products are not only unique to the marketplace, but they're tested. We use a third-party validation lab that gives us the certificate of analysis that gives us the potency that's in the bottle, that verifies the fact that it's coming from the hemp species. It contains 0.3% or less of THC. Also that the product is free from mold, mildew, heavy metals, and pesticides. A product that has toxins, fillers, heavy metals, when you consume those sort of products, they absolutely will get into your system and worsen any condition. So this is critical that we have these certificates of analysis. Now we have several products that one can use for glaucoma. And the reason why we're going to go through our product line is because most people who have glaucoma typically have hypertension, typically have diabetes, and may have some sort of arthritis. So edibles, our gummies, are a way of consuming CBD, and it's a great way to address other challenges that that person may have. Challenges like with insomnia or just overall inflammation, anxiety, and pain. So our edibles come in two different forms. Our power gummies are gummies that have the legal limit of THC, which is 0.3% or less. Our pure gummies are our broad spectrum gummies. Those are the white labels there. They contain less than 0.0% of THC. We also have a product, our Power Culinary, which is an edible because you can bake and cook with it. Just know that when you're baking and cooking your favorite recipes, not to bake or cook over 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Why? Because it will cause a bitter taste, and you're cooking off all these important cannabinoids that you want in your system. We also have tinctures. Tinctures are the first line that I'm going to recommend for those who have glaucoma. Why? Because a tincture will get into the bloodstream and hold a steady state. Our tinctures are oils. You place underneath the tongue. You hold it for a minute before you swallow. Our tinctures are, again, in a broad spectrum, our pure white label, or our full spectrum, which is our black label. Those are products that contain the legal limit of 0.3% or less. So if you're on the line, you know someone, or you may have glaucoma, you want to use our products, and maybe you have a random drug screen going on at your job. You want to make sure that you use our pure, broad spectrum, white label products. Those are products that will not show up on the drug screen. So those are our pure products. Start low and start slow. Remember, with glaucoma, no more than 40 milligrams of CBD a day. Over 40 milligrams of CBD a day could potentially increase the intraocular pressure. We don't want to increase the pressure. We want to decrease the pressure. So if you start off slow and low, 3 drops twice a day, with our Power 500 milligrams, that'll put you at around 10 milligrams a day. If you do 3 drops twice a day on our pure product, that'll give you around 6 milligrams a day. So 1.67 milligrams per drop for the Power and 1.0 milligrams per little drop of the white label. So you can't go wrong by following the instructions on the bottle. Start and stay with 3 drops twice a day. That's all you need with the tincture. With the gummies, you can do half a gummy, right? Because one of our gummies is 60 milligrams, the other one is 25 milligrams. You want to do the math because you don't want to go over 40 milligrams of CBD a day. Our smokables, another great way to get CBD into the system and getting to CBD in the system quickly. A lot of folks who have glaucoma like using smokables because sometimes they do have discomfort, sometimes they do have pain due to the pressure, and using a smokable will give them that relief within 1 to 5 minutes. So by using 1 to 3 pulls, 3 times a day will put you at around 5 milligrams of CBD. Great low dose. You add on the tinctures, 3 drops twice a day. You're about 15 milligrams of CBD at this point. We also offer our Delta 8 cartridges. We also offer our CBD joint or our pre-roll and our premium flower. Again, more is not better. Start low, stay low if you have glaucoma. If you don't have glaucoma, you can increase from there. Now, I added topicals. You're not going to put, this disclaimer is really important. Please do not put any of these products in your eyes. These are not eye drops. Not one thing I've said tonight is an eye drop. Do not put any of these products in your eyes or by your eyes, okay? So our topicals offer local relief. And again, those who have glaucoma, many of them have other conditions where they would use a topical on their arm or their knee or their shoulder or their back. Why? Because they probably also have arthritis. So topicals will assist with symptoms due to arthritis or gout or maybe lupus or fibromyalgia. Our Power Extreme Cream is a great product that you can use. We also have our Dr. Rita's Rub. I'm partial to this one here just because it's so easy. In fact, I have it here in my purse and I carry it around with me everywhere just because it's so easy to take this little roller ball out, right? And just put it on the area that's causing discomfort. And of course, I won't be able to find it. But, this little roller ball here is so easy to use and to rub it on, that sore shoulder, knee, back, etc. So I love all of these topical products. Again, the Extreme Power Relief Pain Cream and the Dr. Rita's Rub, those are the ones that are featured here that you can use as well. And then there's another way to ingest CBD. Yes, our spices. So you can bake and cook and season with our spices. We have a vegan butter. And of course, we talked about the Culinary Plus. That is a product you can bake and cook with. Start low and start slow with the Culinary Plus, 3 drops twice a day. Same with the vegan butter. You want to look on the back. You want to make sure you're not going over 40 milligrams of CBD per day. Again, this is the dosing recommendation. Please do not put any of these products in your eyes. Wakana does not offer a eye drop, CBD eye drop yet. But 40 milligrams of CBD on a daily dose is the max. The recommended dose that the data and studies have found to be effective is between 10 and 20 milligrams. Please note this is not a recommended dosage or valid medical treatment option. If you are on medication for your glaucoma, please continue to take your medication for your glaucoma. How do you prevent glaucoma? Maybe you're on the line and you're like, you know what, this is really interesting, Dr. Rita, but I don't even have glaucoma. Well, you should be thinking about preventing glaucoma. Again, it is a silent thief of vision loss. It's silent. It's almost like high blood pressure sometimes. You don't even know you have it. So you want to prevent glaucoma by getting regular eye exams, treating any elevated eye pressure, controlling your weight, controlling your blood pressure, controlling your blood sugar. Wearing eye protection, if you are in an environment or work environment where you can have trauma to your eyes, please have on your protective gear. And bilberries, dark berries are amazing for your eyes. They help reduce inflammation. They help reduce pressure. So a combination of exercise. Oh, you see the lady there? She's like, no to the fried chicken. No to the Heralds. A combination of diet, exercise, regular eye exams, controlling weight, controlling blood pressure, reducing the risk of trauma to your eyes, along with our amazing products here at Wakana, is when it becomes magical, right? Just putting these drops underneath your tongue and you continuing to eat poorly, not getting your eyes examined, not staying on top of this is not going to be very effective. But when you bring everything in together, diet, exercise, our products, that's when it becomes magical. So recommendation is our Power Water Soluble or our Hemp MD or our 500 milligram. These are all great products that I would recommend those who have glaucoma. Remember, 1 drop is 1.67 milligrams. With the Hemp MD, it's 2.5 milligrams per 1 drop, making sure you're not going over 40 milligrams of CBD per day. And then, of course, the smokables. The smokables are good for those acute times when you're having acute onset of pain or discomfort. You want to use those smokables. You only need 1 to 3 pulls 3 times a day. If you do that, that'll give you about 5 milligrams of CBD. Again, we're offering great products. If you're a guest on the line, we have a whole week of customer appreciation. We're offering 15% off on all retail orders, and we've got these special buy 3, get 1 free. And guess what? It's Wednesday. How appropriate. You've got the tinctures on sale there. So get with the person that invited you to the call. I'm going to take some questions, but you know, it's not over. If you're diagnosed with glaucoma, you want to get on top of it. You don't want to delay treatment. You want to get those preventive measures on board, and you want to incorporate CBD. So I'm going to open it up for any questions. We're going to take questions specifically, ladies and gentlemen, about the topic tonight. And the topic tonight is glaucoma. So if you have questions about any other conditions or challenges, you can email me. And you can email me at ritamd wakana.com. So let's keep the questions specific to glaucoma tonight. So let's see, you have a customer interested in learning about products, good for weight gain, confused by the response that products do both. How does that work? Julie, I'm not sure what you are saying. If you can rephrase your question. Let's get Erica Zachary over on the other side. And let's get Francine. Francine, we need you on our medical advisory board. We need to get you on our medical advisory board. Okay, let's see. Yes, people with multiple sclerosis can have damage to the optic nerve as well. Thank you so much, Erica. Yes, Dr. Glass. Were you saying something?
No, I just wanted to mention that the
Oh, wait 1 second. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the CBD product is the next generation of wellness as part of my practice. Just being in practice for 39 years this year, this is phenomenal.
And what practice are you in? Because many of our guests don't know you.
Okay. One of the first African-American chiropractors in the city of Detroit. I'm in Detroit, Michigan.
Wonderful. Using CBD, incorporating it to overall wellness. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Herman Glass. He's part of our medical advisory board. We have some other board members up that. I text prior to you saying, okay, yeah. Email me, Julie, about other issues. Yes, email me, definitely. Erica, do you want to mention anything about multiple sclerosis affecting the optic nerve as well?
Hey, Dr. Rita. Sorry, I didn't have can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have my picture up as I saw clients today, and so I had a different picture up. It's not me today. But anyway, so I can share.
Can you show me your beautiful face?
Sure. I hope it's beautiful. I've been sitting here for a minute.
Well, yeah, I had a lot too.
So two things I can share. So I was hoping my husband would come in shortly. I know he's in Target somewhere buying stuff. But anyway, so he has glaucoma. And so he started using the Wakana products. He's a truck driver, so he uses the pure products and being really diligent about not to go over 40 milligrams, because I know you said that before. And so he uses the pure tinctures in the morning and the night and takes a pure gummy. And so far, so good. What I will tell you, Dr. Rita, what was amazing to me was that when he was taking the eye drops, number one, those eye drops are incredibly expensive. I think at a point in time, we were using they were like combining several, and for a quarter, we were paying like $700 for eye drops.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was like, okay, how are we going to continue to afford this? So it was just really, really not good. So anyway, unfortunately, his doctor didn't know a lot about CBD, wasn't really willing to learn, but he's like, okay, whatever you're doing, your pressure is stable. And so, so right now he's continuing. And it is important for me. I don't have glaucoma. However, with MS, I've always been concerned about my optic nerve. So they always look at my optic nerve. I go to the eye doctor twice a year to make sure that everything is okay, because I know that that's a condition that I can be impacted by as well. But I use CBD for the MS, and so today I was talking about my butt. I was having butt pain today, and I thought about you, Dr. Rita, because I told you that when the weather changes, and somehow it's crazy in Maryland today. The weather is looking like rainy, snowy, something. Right. And so I use the Hempranium MD in the morning and at night. I do 6 to 8 drops in the morning and night. I use the pure gummies during the day just to help me with inflammation. I was talking about you earlier during a different call. I said, don't tell Dr. Reed I was eating frozen pizza today. I didn't feel like cooking, but I put the garlic fire seasoning on top of the pizza because that was all I could manage today. But then I was having so much pain that I ended up using the flour. I have the dry vape pen for the flour. I finally got it. from Minister Mooney. And that helped so much because that pain was getting to me. And I'm a therapist, so sitting all day, I needed to be able to get up and move, and I couldn't manage it until I did that flower. So taking all of those products together, what I love about Wakana is that we have such a variation of products. There's lots to choose from throughout the day. So
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Erica, for that share. That's really important to understand that using all of our products is okay. You know, we just want to emphasize if you do have glaucoma, you have to be really diligent not to go over 40 milligrams of CBD a day. So making sure that you're doing the tincture is really important because that tincture, the bioavailability to the cells in the tinctures and the vapes are really higher than any other way of getting CBD in your system. So thank you so much. Lois has a comment, and she is 53, and I guess she has glaucoma, and it's scary and very nerve-wracking. So Lois, if you wanted to say anything to add to this conversation, you can by unmuting your line. If not, that's okay as well. But you know, thank God that CBD addresses anxiety. It addresses all the uncertainty and fear that some people have when they have been diagnosed and they have glaucoma. Any other questions? Thank you, Erica. Yes, thank you so much. Let's look at my Q&A because I see there are questions there. You can email me for any questions that don't pertain to glaucoma, but just know that, Lois, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to say that I've had a condition for a few years now, and each time I go to the doctor, um, it's a strange case of glaucoma because the pressure in my eye is at a point where they can't really reduce it any lower than it is, but then the condition of glaucoma is still then I am losing peripheral vision. So I am hoping that, you know, with the use of using the CBD products, that, you know, the next time I go to check, it is you know, that we can see some type of improvement because I have, you know, I love driving, so that's my biggest concern more than anything else. That you know, I may have blindness and can't drive. It's weird. Like there's so much things, other things in the world, but that's my biggest thing. Like I want to be able to drive anywhere that I want to go. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're on top of it. I'm glad that you are really diligent about, you know, not allowing this to progress. And we'll be praying for you and, you know, making sure that you're doing all the other holistic things with your diet, exercise, maintaining normal blood pressure, normal weight, and normal blood sugar. All of those play a role in, you know, really addressing the progression of glaucoma.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So if there's no other questions, let's see. If a person takes hemp 500, should the broad spectrum gummies be broken? Yes, yes. You want to break those in half. Great question. So if you are doing 3 drops of the hemp Cranium 500 in the morning, 3 drops in the evening, you want to use half of a broad spectrum gummy because that broad spectrum gummy is 60 milligrams. Yes, yes, and yes. Very good question. Any other questions? If there's no other questions, we want you to call the person, connect with the person that invited you if you're a guest. If you are a business partner here at Wakana, once this recording is posted to our Facebook page, you want to share this recording with anyone that has glaucoma, anyone that has conditions that put them at risk for glaucoma, diabetics, hypertensive, okay? Family history of glaucoma. Many African Americans, we have a parent or two that had glaucoma. So have a wonderful night. Be well, be safe. Again, feel free to email me if you have any questions outside of our topic tonight. I will respond within 24 hours. Tonight, I am on call at the hospital. We've got about 4 ladies who are going to deliver. So, you know, those COVID babies, they are so, so beautiful. Such blessings, these COVID babies. Be well, be safe, and we'll see you this time next week. Oh, Francine, do you have a question? Your hand is up, Francine. Did you have?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was an accident, but hi there. I wanted to add that I've spoken with people who won't wear sunglasses because they don't feel that they look good wearing them. And they don't realize that that also provides protection. It may help prevent glaucoma in the long run.
Very good point.
Mm-hmm.
Very good point. Thank you, Francine. Put those sunglasses on. So many things that we need to do, right?
Yes,
Care
definitely.
for our eyes, to care for that optic nerve. Very important nerve. Well, thank you so much. My medical advisory board, Francine, we need you on our board. Thank you very much. Be well, be safe, and we'll see you next week. Good night.